Welcome to my little country kitchen. This is Marianne. Thank you for joining me today. Please like and subscribe. If you haven't heard, yes, I wrote a book. It's called Garden Permaculture, How to Grow a Food Forest and Be Self-Sufficient in Your Backyard. I am way excited. Keep watching if you want to know how to get your copy for free.
Hi everybody, welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared, and today I have with me a guest. We have Marianne Merrill, and then I have Jenica, because we're going to be talking about some gardening stuff and
cooking
and
canning.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm really excited.
All those things.
Hello, nice to meet you both. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. So how long has it been that you've been doing your channel?
So I've been doing it for almost 2 years. I haven't really kept track of the date, but it was really just a hobby, just to, keep me busy during the whole COVID stuff and, missing the children that have out of the home now. And so I'm like, hey, maybe I can make like a channel for them. So with all my recipes that we used to love, they used to love as kids. So that's how it started. And, if I just have those 6 subscribers from my children, I call it good, but
Well, I'm pretty sure you'll get some more after this. And now, just so everyone knows, you are in central Utah. I can't remember the name of the town though.
I actually live in Huntington, so it's it's south of Price. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so that's kind of like central eastern Utah, right? Essentially.
Yeah, it's east of I-15 quite a bit, because you have to go on like I-6. So yeah, go down through Spanish Fork Canyon.
Yeah, and you guys do, if I remember right, because like we talked on the phone like a while ago, is it just the gardening that you do, or do you guys have animals?
I do have chickens. We only have a 1/4 acre of a property, so I'm working within my means here until
How many chickens do you have?
We have 22 right now. We used to have 24, and 2 got butchered a couple weeks ago because my neighbor gave them to me.
Okay.
And she didn't realize they were Cornish crosses and let them live till about 6 months old.
Oh,
she had 4 of them actually, and 2 of them died.
Yeah.
And so I rescued the last 2 and was able to butcher them the next day, because if not, they would have died.
Yeah.
And the meat
aren't meant to live long, are they?
No, they're not. They get tumors. I found a tumor in the leg. The meat was tough. It was bruised, like under her chicken legs. One of her legs was broken. I mean, it was pretty bad. Like, I'm pretty sure she was grateful that I put her out of her misery. And I literally just made a chicken pot pie, because I canned up like 14 jars from those 2 chickens. It was so much food.
Yeah.
Like, one of them weighed 14 pounds, one of them weighed 10 pounds. They were huge chickens. They were like turkeys.
And if anyone doesn't know, you have kind of 3 different types of chickens. You have meat chickens, and the Cornish crosses are specifically bred just for meat.
Right.
So they have those kind of issues. So you have meat chickens, and then you have layers that are for eggs, and then you have dual purpose where they're good for either one. So
yeah.
That's why the Cornish crosses aren't good raised. They're specifically bred in a lab, and they're made just for meat. The longer they live, the sicker they get. And
those are the types of chickens that we see, that we buy in. That's how we get chicken in the grocery store. So that's the type of chicken we're used to eating.
Yes.
And so if you don't know what kind of chickens they are, or what you get by accident, then that can lead into a problem. So my neighbor was very grateful that I was able to help her out and rescue those chickens, put them out of their misery.
Good.
We have Sussex chickens. They're really pretty, and they're dual purpose. We have only 12 though. There was a time when we had where we had in the upper 20s, and then on top of that we had ducks, and we had a goose.
Turkeys.
We had some turkeys, and then we did all the farm breeds.
What color are the Sussex?
What color? They're mostly brown. And they're this really pretty brown, and then they have they look speckled with white, but then they also have this kind of tealish, more on the green side, I think, this kind of greenish blue speckles as well.
They're
So,
really pretty.
yeah.
My other sets of chickens, I got two sets of 10. I got the barred Plymouth Rock, so the pretty speckly black and white ones.
Yeah.
One of them, she follows me everywhere. I call her Peppers. She's so cute.
Oh, that's sweet.
then,
I'd love a chicken to follow me around.
Yeah, I'm like, here, chickies, even though they're big now.
Yeah.
Bigger. They're not laying eggs yet, but. And then my other ones are the Rhode Island Red.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had both of those. We've had a few barred rocks, and we've had that. We've had Buff Orpingtons. What are some of the other ones that we've had? Americanas. We like the Americanas because those are the ones, if people don't know, those are the ones that lay like blue and sometimes green eggs.
Oh, yeah, fun.
We had Wyandottes and
Wyandottes.
Brahmas. Right, those were the Brahmas, right? White Brahmas,
light Brahmas.
Light Brahmas. The barred rock.
And then we have your black cochin.
Yeah, we have a black cochin. Oh, she's so cute. She's so fluffy and big. I love the fluffy chickens.
Yeah,
with the feather on the feet. It's cute.
So really
reminds
quick,
me of those Clydesdale horses.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do a quick screen share because I want to show you guys Marianne's. Okay, this is her channel right here. Okay, I'm gonna put the link for it in the description below, or you can also just go to my homepage. Okay, here's my homepage on either your phone or your desktop. You go down here and it has the featured channels, and she's going to be right here. Okay, so you can subscribe to her there, or you can also just click on channels right here, and this will show you all the different people that I've talked to and that I promote. So make sure to check her out. So the name of her channel, Little Country Chicken. Or kitchen. I'm in kitchen. And so you can see here, like she said, she's been doing it for a couple of years. And then this is her book that she's written, Garden Permaculture. And then we were talking a little bit about this before we started, but can you explain how people can get this book?
Yeah, absolutely. So all you need to do is send me an email at littlecountryKitchen360@gmail.com. I have that as my name, so you guys can see it all the time.
And I'll put that in the description box too.
Great. And then just write for the subject garden book, and that way I'll know you'll want it, because I need at least 100 reviews. So I'm only about 5% there of people committed to actually do it. So I need as much help as I can get. And so I'm wanting to release it on November 17th on Amazon is when I'll put it live. And then I'll run a free promotion for a day or two so they can buy it for free. And then it'll be a verified purchase. That way they can click buy, then they can put the legitimate review. But they'll have the book free and in advance for reading it. So
great.
Cool.
Did you guys get a chance to skim over it?
We don't have it yet.
Not yet. Like I said, it's just we've been super busy. I'm still kind of working on I don't know how long you've been watching the channel, but I had Thomas Holton on. He's from Ireland, and he's he's written, well, he's doing a trilogy of books, and he sent me like a free copy of his, and I'm still working. It's like between going to the gym, the homestead, doing YouTube, family. But yes, we will.
Yeah, I'll definitely look at it.
Yeah.
I just want to say I haven't watched any of your videos yet, but I was looking through your channel to see the kind of things you have, and I am so excited to start watching your videos. It's exactly what I've been looking for, and something I've pondered on doing, whether I wanted to do videos on canning and cooking and stuff. But Jared's the tech guy. I don't want to figure out how to upload videos and stuff. That's not my thing. Yeah. But I'm so excited to watch and listen and learn what you have on your channel. The cooking and thanks, the canning and everything is just up my alley, and I'm really excited. So
I'm definitely a foodie, so I love good food, and so I literally want to leave this as a legacy for my children. Be like, hey, these are the favorite recipes that we grew up with. So
that's
and then
great.
Kind of put an homage and to honor my mom and dad, because my dad's from Spain, so he makes paella all the time. So that's one of my bucket lists to add a video about that.
Oh, I would love that, because Jared wants me to make paella.
Well, yeah, really when I was, if anyone doesn't know, if you're like new to the channel, I served my mission in the Spain Barcelona mission, and I went to the island that her dad's from. It's called Palma de Mallorca. It's like the there's a few islands, but that's like the main one is Palma. And I loved paella so much. And so I decided to buy a paella pan to bring back home, which we didn't end up using. I don't know where it went.
I tried to make paella once and he was just like, this isn't right.
Yeah,
hopefully at some point.
Question, do you like it with that? I forgot the name of it, the Spanish name of it, but the crusty rice on the bottom. Do you like that part?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my dad does not make it that way. So I want to be like authentic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like it always, just not so big a fan of the seafood way, but like chicken or other things is fine.
Yeah, my dad loves just putting in chicken legs and Italian sausage, and he like rolls them up into little balls. So
sounds good.
And then whatever vegetable you really want.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, good. That'll be exciting to look forward to. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and then my mom's from Guatemala, and so we love making every Christmas tamales made out of rice. So they're a little bit different. So we grind down the rice like the corn ones, like the Mexicans do. So it's a little bit different. Like a lot of people haven't heard of it, and we dye all of our rice yellow too. So because of the turmeric that you add to it, you add just like a quarter teaspoon of turmeric and everything turns yellow. So that's how I grew up with Spanish rice. If it's not yellow, it's not rice.
I love yellow rice. Is that basically the essence of yellow rice? It's just dyed with turmeric?
Absolutely. But the trick is you need to boil it and cook it in chicken broth. Okay. That is the trick. That's the 100% trick. Yeah. Okay. I remember when my kids were getting older, like, and my sister-in-law was like, how do I make Spanish rice? And I gave her the two spices, the chicken broth. It was powder and then the turmeric. And he's like, it's not chickeny enough. It's not chickeny enough. Doesn't taste ricey enough. So they added more turmeric thinking that was the secret ingredient. No. It's opposite. It's the chicken. It's basically bouillon, chicken bouillon. Yeah. That's what makes it more flavorful. And
that's good to know.
Another thing about Spanish rice is when you saute, you start with hot oil, and then you saute the onions in it if you want. I just use dried onions because it's faster. But the authentic way is you really saute the onions until they become translucent. And then you add the 2 cups of rice or however much you're making into the oil.
Right.
And then you coat it for a second.
Yeah.
And you cook that for like a minute or so, and you keep stirring it while it's doing that. Then you add in the hot water or the chicken broth.
Right.
And so it really is, it starts out kind of being like a fried rice, but it's coated in that cooking oil, and it really does bring out so much more rich and nutty flavors.
Yeah, that's about how I do my Spanish rice, but I've never done my yellow rice that way. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
This is making me really hungry. It's like for me it's lunchtime. I know it's 3 Central Time, but like it's lunchtime for me.
I woke up late, so we had a very late lunch.
But
or breakfast, very late breakfast.
Oh gosh, I loved all the Spanish food. It's really cool because you're half Spanish and I'm half Portuguese, so we got the Iberian Peninsula here. And then I also there were a lot of people that were in Spain from primarily Central and South America. There was one Mexican there, but almost everybody else was Central America, South America. And we ate just like food from all those different countries. And there was not one meal that I did not like from it. It didn't matter if it was Colombia or Guatemala. There are a lot of Ecuadorians. It's just all so good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. In fact, have you ever had any Peruvian food like papa la huancaína?
Yeah, my husband actually went on his mission to Peru, so he was in South Lima, or is it North? I don't remember which, Lima somewhere. And so, and then my mom has one of her best friends is from Peru too. So when we got married, she made us the papa la huancaína and the ceviche and all that. And so I'm like, okay. And I'm not really much of a seafood person, but I ate it. It was good.
Yeah.
And then when someone feeds you and you go to their house and I'm like, oh, this is the only dish. No, it was like the second dish. There was like 3 more dishes after that. And so I filled up on the ceviche, not knowing there was more dishes after. I'm like, oh no.
My gosh, so good. So good. So what are
So,
questions that you had
yeah,
for?
so you do gardening. Do you do gardening to survive off of, like for a full year's worth?
Not quite yet. I haven't come to that caliber yet. I started out with 3 garden beds, and this year I added they're 4 by 16
Okay.
garden beds. So I have
Wow.
3 of those. And then I added 2 more in-ground garden beds that are just 18 by 16. So I have 5 beds right now. And so I was able to do a lot of tomatoes this year, but I literally planted my seeds 3 times.
Really?
And like it was like a catastrophe year. The first time our heater went out, and so everything died because I got too cold, and then it got moldy and mildewy. And then the second time our furnace died, and then it was too hot in the summer, and then so the AC went out, and so it was literally like the perfect storm for everything. And then once I got the next set, I put them out in the wind or in the sun to harden off, and the wind took them away, at least half of them. So I'm like, oh goodness, give me a break.
I don't start seeds indoors because we don't have anywhere to put them. We have a really small house, and we don't have any grow lights, and if I had grow lights, I wouldn't even know where to put them. So
Well, what about the garage?
Well,
I thought we tried it. We have a detached garage, and it has a heater, and
yeah, I tried it, but we have some lights, some fluorescent lights that work well, but I have to stack a bunch of stuff up on there and reach way high up to get them down and water them. And it was just, to do that every single day was just, it was really hard work. So I stopped doing
last
that.
year I had them in my living room.
Yeah.
And they were just, I put them in front of the window, but I wasn't using the window. I just used the grow lights as well.
Yeah.
But my cats, they would eat the little seedlings. I'm like, stop it. You naughty little babies.
Yeah. We had problems with cats too before, but now we have no cats indoors. So I could start them indoors if I just find a way to do it. But the garage
honestly,
isn't an
now
option.
I have them in my bathroom, in my hallway bathroom that my boys use. Because now that they're in the living room, they sleep in the living room and the couch. So when you have man-child, that self-proclaimed man-child, and when they come back to the nest. One's 20 and one's 33. So they came back, and so I just have them in the bathroom. So and I left it there because I just have 2 growing lights just sitting on the counter.
Maybe that's what we need to do, is like buy growing lights or something that hangs. There's got to be something that we can buy, and then we would just keep the heater on in the garage or something like that.
So when it comes to planting, can you start your seeds in the ground, or do you need to start later in the month if you want to do it that way? Or
so you absolutely can. And do you know your zone?
No.
Okay.
I know it's something a gardener should know, but I don't know my zone.
It's totally fine. As long as you know your first frost date and your last frost date, you can figure it out. So, like this year I planted carrots, but I planted them way too late. And so I thought they were just always, I planted 3 different kinds, and some rainbow carrots and fingerling carrots, and they didn't even pop up for months and months. And then once the cold snap hit, they came up. I'm like, what?
Really?
My carrots popped up.
Wow.
So it's all about hitting the right temperature.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of doing it at the right time. And you have all these great intentions of doing something, and then life gets in the way, and but luckily I was able to get at least probably 2 pounds of carrots. And when I roasted them, unfortunately I burned them all because I was working at the same time.
That was like us. We got some tomatoes our first year growing, and I picked them all, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna can these. And then a couple days later, they were all rotten. I was like, gosh dang it. And I just ruined my tomatoes. I ruined my canning.
So the trick the trick with tomatoes is throw them directly from the garden into a Ziploc baggie and throw them in the freezer until you actually know you're going to can them.
Okay.
And then just do that.
Okay, good to know.
So that's a huge trick. Like Rachel from that 1870s Homestead, she does that. Whole bunch of other canner people that I love watching, they all do that. They just throw them in the freezer and wait.
Okay, I'll do that. That's great.
And
And then
it saves you the time of having to blanch them so you can peel them, because
I was gonna just ask about peeling. Does the peel come off right after they defrost?
yeah,
That's
they
great
do.
too. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm learning so much already.
Yeah.
What's blanching?
You have to throw the tomatoes in hot water for a few minutes, boiling water, so that, and cut a little X in them.
Yeah, to remove
so
the
that,
skin.
yeah, so that you can remove the skin when you're ready to can tomatoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But by freezing them, you skip that step.
Yeah.
So
I made some salsa and I didn't remove the skins, and the salsa turned out really bitter.
yeah,
It's
yeah, and it
terrible.
depends what kind of tomatoes you have
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thickness. Like I grew these black cherry tomatoes, and they had a really, really thick skin. I didn't care
Yeah.
for them, so
Yeah.
not gonna do those ones again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you preserve your food with canning, and do you do dehydrating and stuff like that?
I do have a dehydrator, yes. So I dehydrated some of my neighbor actually gave me a ton of zucchini. You know how people can't get rid of their zucchini fast enough. So I'm like, I'll take it. And so I literally like had 21 cups of zucchini that I just shoved into my dehydrator because it's pretty big. That my husband taught me.
How do you use up dehydrated zucchini? What do you use it in?
So right now it's just sitting in a big jar right now, and I actually blended it down into powder. You can literally add it to everything, anything, soups, cookies, breads, whatever you want, even pancakes if you wanted
just to give it some healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to hide those vegetables, especially if you have little kids. How old are your children?
Oh man, I need to do that. With they're 6, 12, and 14. With the older kids, it's not so bad. They eat some vegetables somewhat. But my autistic son, he's very picky, but he won't eat any vegetables. So it's that'd be great if I could make some cookies. Is he the oldest, or he's the 6-year-old?
Oh, that's the youngest. Okay.
Yeah. So I could put it in his cookies.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll eat muffins. Sometimes.
Oh, well, probably my favorite recipe I have on my channel right now is my zucchini banana bread. It's so yummy.
Yeah, I saw that video. I didn't see the video, but I saw the link to it.
Yeah, the link. Yeah,
that would be good to try.
I would love that.
That's definitely a hit. So
okay, good. I don't have any zucchini recipes passed down to me, so I'm looking for some good zucchini recipes.
Yeah. So it was actually the best ever banana bread off of all recipes, but I just adapted it and added the zucchini in there too. I'm like, why not?
Nice.
I can do what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
And then my always secret trick to any cookie or baked good is fresh grated nutmeg. If you've never done it, you've got to try it. It is absolutely amazing, and it
really
100% difference. You notice the difference.
Okay, great.
Isn't that what you said? But I was going to ask you, now that the holidays are coming up, do you have any like recipes or special things that you do for the holidays?
Yeah, the Christmas, of course, is the tamales that my mom. So we go there. It actually takes 2 or 3 days to make the tamales, because they make a giant roaster full of the masa, which is the dough of the tamales, and that needs to cool overnight to be able to do it. And then she needs to make the recado, which is the sauce, the red sauce, and then we need to pressure cooker the meat, which is usually pork.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you use rice. How do you incorporate the rice in that?
You grind it down into a flour.
So instead of the corn masa, it's like a rice masa? Okay.
Yep. And then for the holidays, I love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is my absolute favorite holiday. So, but we're probably going to be doing one down here because we're 2.5 hours away from family. So we'll probably, we already bought our turkey, because turkey prices, I heard, are going to go crazy.
Oh, geez.
With all the culling. So, yeah. Go buy your turkeys if you don't have one yet.
Okay.
We had 2 live turkeys earlier this year. Like I keep like having this idea that I want to like raise a turkey and then like have it for Thanksgiving, but they eat a lot of feed and they're kind of messy with it, and
they cost a lot to keep.
I bet.
I don't know. So we just like sold them.
Well, and butchering it in the winter, like November, like we should have butchered the 3 roosters that my neighbor gave me, but we haven't yet, and we need to. I'm like, oh, so annoying, because I swear they're broken. they wake me up at 4 a.m. I'm like, it is not sunrise, I promise.
Yeah, that's a myth that they just crow at sunrise. That's,
oh no, they crow all three crow all time, every day, all day.
Yeah.
I'm like, my neighbors probably hate me right now, but
well, that's great. Do you live in like a suburb, or where, but you're
not really. It's a pretty small town. There's only like 2,000 people here.
So that's like us.
Yeah. I probably have one neighbor kitty corner to me. I can see her backyard and she can see mine, but that's pretty much it. She's pretty much the closest.
So is it most likely, do a lot of people have animals around there? Is it a normal thing?
Right next door to me, the other lot next to me is horses. So
okay, well, that's good. Yeah.
So we are pretty quiet down here. I mean, all you can hear really is dogs barking down the block. So
yeah, it sounds like the same as us. Like our neighbors they're pretty far. Like we're kind of like at the edge of town, sort of, but like just the way that our property sits, like there's no one like close to us. So like when we first got chicks for the first time, we didn't know what we were doing. We just got like a big batch from like some people on Craigslist. And most of them turned out to be roosters, and they were just crowing all the time. And I was just like worried about like if the neighbors, even though they're far, if they could hear them. But it was okay. We ended up finding these guys that pretty much bought them all.
Yeah, we sold them all.
Oh, good. Yeah, we'll see if my husband gets to butchering them sometime this week, because he's like, oh, it's still warm enough for him, not warm enough for me. I am a frost tender flower.
Yes.
Just like Jessica Soward says.
Well, what are the temperatures there like right now?
Oh, it's probably 40 something. Let's look.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's 44.
Oh gosh. Right now it's 60 degrees here. 60 degrees.
Yeah, we're pretty cold. I'm like, that's a little too cold for me. Like, I already ruined like my water filter that was attached to my hose that fed my garden. That like completely broke and frozen, and like my spray nozzle on my hose that completely cracked. And I'm like, oh great, I forgot to disconnect it before the first frost. So I wasn't quite prepared as I wanted to be. I'm like, man, it just kind of snuck up on me, which it shouldn't have, because it was actually 3 weeks late. So, but anyway.
So on your channel, do you mostly do cooking, or do you also do gardening tips? And
so I love gardening too. So that's how it started, was with the garden. And then I have one of building our chicken coop, because we built that from scratch. My husband helped me with that. And then so I just, it's really about family projects, like building the actual, because at first we did a mitt lighter method for gardening. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. It's sand and sawdust, and then you add the nutrients on top that are water soluble, and it seems to work out great. So, but I wanted to be more sustainable method now, so I'm adding compost over the top of that and kind of mix it in, because I want worms to be attracted to it, and I don't want to have to go buy stuff and be dependent on others. I'm like, and then I'm really thinking about composting, and which you can make your own compost even from all the cardboard that we get.
Yeah, do a video on composting. I would love just to have one channel to go to that has all my tips and tricks on it, because I'm like, okay, I need
this is all the plans in my head. I need to like, so great. Like the stuff in my book, I want to do it all. And I've done the chickens and the garden part, and so there's 6 more chapters that I need to listen to.
Well, I'm really excited to read your book and see what all you have in there, and I'll leave a review when I read it.
Thank you.
And you do your family recipes, and you do canning.
Yep.
Right.
And chickens, and sometimes funny videos about my cats if they bug me. Bengals, so they're very, very wild, like breeds, and
right.
They're so funny.
Cats are funny. So good. I would love to I'm excited to check out your channel.
Well, thanks, Jenica. You're so sweet. So I want to share real quick.
Okay.
So I can show you the my book. I can show you real quick the PDF. Kind of run through what are in the chapters.
Okay.
Okay. So when anybody sends me an email and asks for the gardening book, this is what they'll get. Garden Permaculture, How to Grow a Food Forest and Be Self-Sufficient in Your Backyard. Okay. And so this is kind of the chapter. So talking about the microbiome of the soil, why it's important, how to get pollinators to come to your garden, because they're very important, of course. And then second chapter is how to grow a food forest. So learning the 7 layers of an edible food forest. This was my favorite part because that's what I want in my backyard. Even though it's very small, I still believe it's very attainable. We even bought fruit trees, like dwarf ones. So I have 2 apple trees out back that we planted, and I have a nectarine tree. And then chapter 3 is about multi-purpose plants. So green manure, which I never heard of. So that was a new concept for me when I've been learning about the last couple years. You basically just grow it and then knock it down and let it enrich the soil, which is really awesome. I'm like, have a plant do the work for you. How cool is that? Yep. And then of course, chapter 4 is about composting and the different types of ones I have. I actually do have worm bin out in my shed right now. I need to go see if they're alive. It's probably too cold. They probably already laid their eggs and are hibernating for, you know, when it's warm. But then chapter 5 is about a winter hotbed greenhouse. So this is what I wanted to do in the winter. I was probably gonna have to wait till next year because our outside is quite a mess. And then chapter 6 is about top 18 fruits and vegetables. Chapter 7 is why chickens and rabbits are so amazing, especially their manure, and how to work for you.
Yeah. I want rabbits just for their manure.
Yeah, that's what I want too. But my husband's still trying to convince me against it. I'm like, that's true. I don't know if I could kill a fluffy bunny.
I know.
And then the last chapter is about mushrooms and how magical they are for fixing contaminated soil, which I did get from a Costco bag, which I was so sad that like my entire planter, it started just growing mushrooms like crazy, and it was like too acidic and too much, and so it's kind of interesting. There was another contaminant in there. I didn't get it ever tested, but that's what about. So that is my book. So
awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe we'll wrap it up right here. Thank you so much for being on the channel. And again, everybody, I'm going to put the links, like her email and just for and then her channel and everything in the description below. So make sure to check that out.